CTV and me personally have been involved in this event because we understand the importance of it, what it means to the island, because we are an island broadcaster within the media mix. Wherever you might live, you have media that is intensely local. We are intensely regional. We present the message and the story and the ideas and the businesses of people on Vancouver Island to each other. I'm lucky that I get to serve as an ambassador for this community, which I love so very much. I actually live in Victoria now. But the messages that we do on television present things from a regional point of view. We actually have a very significant audience on the mainland as well. So much of what they see and hear about Vancouver Island comes through what we do on CTV News. In the course of an average week, 1.8 million people in British Columbia watch CTV Vancouver Island and find out what's going on over here. So we're very proud of the role that we play in getting the word out about things that matter, like this event, and the businesses and the issues that concern all of you. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot more. I'm going to pass it over to the moderator for this event. You've all read this, which is, of course, why you're here, of course. Kim Stevens is the Executive Director of Partnership for Water Sustainability of British Columbia. So I'll hand things over to your moderator, to Kim. Thanks, folks.
Thank you very much. So, clearly, yes, you do know why you're here, and we're the balance people. We're talking about economy and ecology and balance. And so, how many of you have been to our previous sessions? So it's us bringing, so about 15%, I guess.
Actually, I'd like to point out Rob Hutchins as well, who's attended some of the sessions.
Yes. So last year, Rob, you weren't feeling too good because you had just come from the dentist. Remember that?
Yes.
And I said, "How are you, Rob?" And you said, "I can't recall." So it's been another whole process, as you can see from our previous themes. In terms of you know, it takes time. It takes a process to kind of communicate your message, and so you know, we've really been quite pleased over the years to have this relationship with VIEA. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Partnership for Water Sustainability, and in particular our CAVI, our Convening for Action on Vancouver Island Initiative. So again, if you just look at those titles, you know, water for life and livelihoods, and public infrastructure to deliver, economy and ecology and balance. And of course, the last couple of years we've introduced this notion of mission possible. And so that's why the front line there is Mission Possible Update. And let's see if it works. It didn't work. Look at this. You play with it. Wrong way. Other way. Good. So, in terms of our format, and actually we are quite flexible because, as you can see here, we have the morning organized such that we have half the time devoted to what we call the town hall segment. So, if you'd like a longer coffee break, you can have it, right? On the other hand, if everybody's ready for the discussion, we'll use up the full time, 10-15. So it really depends on how you all start reacting. So really in terms of the team, and we're just going to keep passing the baton. And the team comprises Eric Bonham, and he's going to give a introduction to CAVI, and he's going to head up to, actually, only Eric, because Peter Law had to cancel at the last minute because of medical emergency. So Eric Richmond will deal with the interregional collaboration, and then Eric and Marianne Stoltz will round up our talking at park with more of the Vancouver Island vision and the big announcement, which is actually already in your program. And then we'll go into next steps for Mission Possible. So, Eric, go.
Good. Thank you. I thought it was important at the outset for us to give you a little bit of history of CAVI. Some maybe are familiar with it, others not so. The genesis of CAVI started back in the year 2003, 10 years ago. At that time we were thinking, what do we want Vancouver Island to look like in 50 years? It was a very kind of brainstorming session. We met in Mid-Island, and we had a session where we got about 40 people together. They weren't randomly chosen. They were randomly chosen in the sense that they were from all parts of the island, but they were from every background. There was First Nations, there was all 4 levels of government, there was local stewardship groups and the business sector. And we sat down and we just brainstormed. What were the issues in Vancouver Island? So we collected those certain issues and put them together, met again in 2004. After that, we decided it was time to consolidate. And so we formed Convening for Action on Vancouver Island. Now this happened at the formal launch at the Water in the City Conference in 2006. There are two words that are really important here, the convening and the action. We've consistently taken the position that this is not a talking heads thing. This is about sharing ideas, exchanging visions, and putting it on the ground in action. So what I'm going to do is take you into the bigger picture at the outset. 3 weeks ago, I attended an outstanding conference, you may or may not have heard of it, called the Pioneers Conference. The vision, the concept of it was turning vision into action. Exactly what we're trying to do in Vancouver Island. Now, what was particularly great about this conference, it's been gathering people together for some 25 years, putting together all kinds of backgrounds and folks with different experiences. And just to get a capture of what the pioneer means. The pioneer is basically a biological pioneer. So the difference being that we're here, what goes around comes around. So everything we talk about is in the question of sustainability. The conference brings together visionary and pragmatists. It embraces interdisciplinary collaboration, networking, and cultural diversity. It engaged economists, industrial ecologists, solar engineers, business, politicians, urban planners, educators, and First Nations elders. But what were the outcomes? The outcomes include things like low carbon technology, green infrastructure, sustainable agriculture, creative business practices. And the broad principles included a commitment to a shared vision, the common good, fair play, sense of ethics, and inclusion across cultures. I see much of what was happening at that conference are things that could happen on Vancouver Island. When I mentioned that I was from Vancouver Island, a number of people who were very enthusiastic and said, wow, you guys live in a pretty special place, which we know. And from that perspective, we looked at it from the point of view of how do we continue to keep that special place and also have a vision for the next 50 years. I put up another part of the slide here, Eva Kras. Eva is a visionary, scholar, traveler, and author. She was here last year and attended this very part of the conference. Eva has always been a strong supporter of the idea that Vancouver Island has got some special qualities that can make it a sustainability development model for Canada. So what we're looking at today is sharing with you not only the bigger vision, but also the steps that we've taken to date. What have we done practically on Vancouver Island that takes us towards that vision in the future? And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Derek, and he will take it from there.